Hello friends, hi, welcome back to another skincare and scary stories episode. Hi, I'm Faiza and every week I talk about a true crime story. But on this side of my channel, I just review a horror film that I've watched whilst I do my skincare. So if you are into that combination, do like and subscribe and all of that good stuff. And let's get into today's review. So I watched Pearl last night and I just find her so disgusting. I find the whole film disgusting. It kind of made me gag. But other than that, it's quite entertaining in my opinion. So if you haven't watched the film, I suggest that you watch it and come back to this video because I will be, spoiling it for you otherwise. But if you don't care, continue watching, that's fine by me. And if you're curious to find out what products I'm using, I am going to list it down below. Other than that, let's get into today's video. In 1918, Pearl is basically a young woman that lives on a farm with her immigrant parents. They are originally from Germany, and the reason why they're staying on the farm is to avoid the Spanish flu pandemic. And her husband, Howard, was serving in the First World War, and he was drafted. So he was away from home, which led Pearl to take care of her mom and dad, especially her dad. He was immobile, he was paralyzed and bedridden. And her mother, Ruth, she was so mean. She was such a mean lady. And she would always put Pearl down. She would never believe in her dreams, because Pearl wanted to become a superstar. She wanted to be a Hollywood actress. She only cared about becoming a star, and that is key in this film. And she will stop at nothing to get to that point. Even if she has to commit murder, she will get to that point. She does not care. She knows no bounds. But guess who didn't believe in Pearl's dreams? Her mother, Ruth. She did not believe in her dreams one bit, and she was just berating her daughter, saying this is not worth it and so on. Not 1 ounce of support came from her mother. I understood her anger because you want your parents to, support you in your hopes and dreams. Even telling someone your dreams could be a scary thing, and that's what Pearl did, but she was telling the wrong people. So Pearl was abusing her dad in secret, as well as killing animals on the farm. She has this pitchfork that she likes to use, and she would just impale all the animals at the farm, especially that goose. Have you seen that part? That was just so upsetting. So Pearl decided to go out one day, and then she meets a projectionist, okay? This guy, she winds up sleeping with, because, they took an interest in one another. However, Pearl, she is married, but, choices were made, and she decided to sleep with the projectionist. However, back at the farm, Pearl's behavior became even more erratic. She starts dancing in the cornfield and masturbates with a scarecrow. It was the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. So it just shows how unstable she really is, and her mind just wanders, It's around dinner time now, and Ruth is just very disappointed in Pearl's behavior in general, and she decides to withhold Pearl's food, and a argument happened. So Mitzi appears, which is, her wealthy sister-in-law. She comes by and tells Pearl, like, oh my God, there's auditions happening. And Pearl was like, this is my advantage to get out of this farm and to get out of all of this, responsibilities and so on. So she follows Mitzi's lead. So this is where she sees the projectionist guy again. They fancy each other, and he starts showing her a very X-rated film. And I think he was hinting that he just wanted to do it with her. But, they watched the film, and then she was like, I just want to be a star. And she kept telling him that. However, Pearl said something really weird. Like, he was like, oh, come with me, let's do this thing together. But she was like, I have a responsibility to take care of my parents and the farm. And then she said, I just wish they would just die. And I quote. Scary, isn't it? So when Pearl went back home, her mother found out that she was going to auditions, and then an argument broke out. Her mother said to her, and I quote, "You are my biggest failure." That is the rudest thing you could ever say, especially to your own child. And this is where Pearl went, it really pushed her over the edge. And she shoved her mom into the fireplace and her whole dress caught on fire. And then Pearl was like, "Oh, let me help you out," by throwing very hot, boiling water at her. And then she pushes her down the basement. She fumbles and rolls down, and that was the end of that. She murdered her own mother. Pearl then leaves the house, right? And she goes back to that projectionist guy, and she just abandons her dad at the home. Remember, he was paralyzed and bedridden. He can't even speak. He's nonverbal as well. So finally, Pearl is having sex with that guy, and he drives her home the next day, okay? And this is where her erratic behavior comes out again. And then she just has abandonment issues, okay? From what I have picked up on. It's not funny, but she freaks out on him. She was like, "Why don't you like me? I thought you liked me." And she completely freaked out. So she had enough. And guess what she does to him? Oh my God. She flies into a fit of rage and kills him by impaling him with a pitchfork. It's that same pitchfork she used to kill all these animals. She used that on him, she kills him, and she places his remains into his car, and she pushes the car down the river where that crocodile is, her crocodile friend, Theda, and that crocodile eats his remains. That is crazy. Then Pearl puts on her mother's very nice gown. She puts on this huge dress, right? And what she does next is she goes over to her dad and she just smothers him with a pillow. She was like, "I'm done with you too." And we don't know what she does with their remains just yet. She thankfully didn't feed it to the crocodile, so at least I can say that. So this part is just a bit sad, but at the same time, I don't really sympathize with her because she's just too dangerous, you know? She goes for an audition, okay? And she's dancing her heart out. She has this huge performance, whatever. And she really thinks she has what it takes, but the judges thought otherwise. They said that she wasn't young, blonde, or all-American enough for her to be considered for the role. And she was never the same again. Like, she actually became much worse. So she confides in her friend, you know, Mitzi, remember her? She tells her everything. So Mitzi gets freaked out and she's trying to leave. And because of Pearl's abandonment issues, she was like, "You're not going anywhere." So she chases her down with an axe and kills her. She dismembers her sister-in-law and feeds the remains to the crocodile again. At this point in the film, she is just laying beside her mom, but she's just trying to get the house ready for her husband because remember, he's serving at the First World War and he's making his way home now. Her husband finally returns back home and he is met with a horrifying scene. Pearl is there with a grisly smile, with her parents' remains sat by the dinner table alongside a rotting feast. And she eerily greets him by saying, "I'm happy you're home." This woman, she's absolutely crazy. She gave me the creeps. Oh my God. What do you guys think about this film? I am very afraid of Pearl. Like, she had issues going on and she never stood a chance. Her mother was abusive and she didn't really have anyone else to support her, you know? But why did she want to be a star, you know? Was it because she was living such a hard-working life? Is that why? What did she want? She absolutely hated working on that farm and she only really cares about herself. Like I said before, she is a psychopath, you know? But that film, my God, it was wild. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I really appreciate you guys. I really do. Please stay safe, stay hydrated, and I will see you guys in my next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.